Chapter 9. A teen girl is dead following a mishap at sea. A family awaits the outcome of a police investigation into the circumstances of a loved one's death.
The things that he tell me that he went through, it is sad. It is sad, very, very, very sad.
And is the Prime Minister's budget unrealistic as suggested by the opposition? Chartered accountant Richard Peterkin weighs in. The details of these stories and more are coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good evening. It is Monday, the 15th of April, 2019. Welcome to the Hot 7 Nightly News. We're on Flow Channel 117, also Kiss FM 105.5 and 105.9. On our website, www.caribbeanhottv.com, and of course on our free Caribbean Hot FM mobile app. I'm lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. The family and friends of a Vieux Fort teenager has been plunged into mourning after the young female fell victim to the seas over the weekend. Dead is 18-year-old Augustina Lionel of Pero Vieux Fort, who was reportedly a passenger in a kayak when it capsized, plunging her and two other individuals into the water. David Antoine of the St. Lucia Fire Service said the call was made to the Vieux Fort Fire Station at approximately 4:25 p.m. on Sunday. The Assistant Divisional Officer said fire officers responded to the suspected drowning incident which occurred in Vieux Fort.
On arrival at the scene, emergency personnel assessed and treated a young female who was subsequently transported to the St. Jude's Hospital for further medical care.
According to said reports, the teenager, who was unable to swim, attempted to reach the shore. However, her attempt was unsuccessful. The family of the victim is now seeking answers surrounding the incident. Lionel's eldest sister, Ashasky St. Rose, said she rushed over to the scene of the incident after she received the news, but that was in vain as her sister's body was already removed by first responders from the St. Lucia Fire Service. Official reports indicate that investigations into the matter are currently underway, including the questioning of the two individuals who accompanied the deceased when tragedy struck. The post-mortem examination for the teenager is scheduled for Tuesday. In other news, the family of Ali Smith is demanding answers and is waiting anxiously for the outcome of an investigation into their loved one's death. The 33-year-old allegedly had a run-in with the law that turned physical. The family gathered for an autopsy that they hope will shed light on what led to Smith's death. They suspect foul play. Rochelle Gonzalez reports.
The distraught and grieving family of 33-year-old Ali Smith of Marisol is demanding justice after they claim that their loved one succumbed to alleged injuries sustained in a beating by a police officer. The incident reportedly occurred during the last week of March near the Royalton Hotel. According to information from the family, Smith was taken to the Victoria Hospital on Monday the 8th of April and passed away on Saturday the 13th. Smith's sister gave the harrowing details of her brother's ordeal in an off-camera interview with Hot 7 News.
He was washing a vehicle, apparently, and he shifted the vehicle. He admitted that he shifted the vehicle to get water because he was unable to get water where he was. And when he came back on the scene, an officer attacked him. He gave him several blows to the stomach. He literally jumped on his stomach to a point where he had a broken leg. He stayed home. The officer brought him home with all his pain, suffering, and also told him that he would assist him in any way he can financially to his medical bills and so forth. He stayed home and suffered with the pain for a very long time. Then when he couldn't take any more, he came to his family. We brought him to the polyclinic first, and then the polyclinic sent him to the hospital. His feet was in a cast, his leg was in a cast, but was suffering a lot with his stomach, and pain is from his stomach and his bum.
The sister went on to say she is certain that her brother died as a result of the beating he received. She said the police officer responsible needs to face justice for his crime.
He gave the full statement, but it's before he died, just before he died. So I feel like he had hopes that the police officer would honestly help him out financially with his medical bills and so forth. And when he realized that wasn't being done, something had to be done about it. So he made the statement to my aunts, to his father, to a few people, but he passed away. So many police officers are taking advantage of people in this day and age. Despite of, let's put it as my brother did something that he felt that was out of bound. He had no right to raise his hand. My brother did not have no weapon. He wasn't assaulting him. He had no reason to put his hands on him, none whatsoever. Yeah, but now all the officer can say is sorry, and right now we don't have my brother anymore.
Smith's father, Clendon Louis, said he was shocked to hear what his son had endured. He said he is in need of answers and justice, and he wants it all now.
Something happened to Ali. When I go to him, what he tell me, it was very surprised to hear the kind of things that he tell me that happened to him. I won't disclose anything now because there is an investigation going, but all I need justice for my son. I won't let it slip there. I'll go all out to do whatever for my son, because the way he died, that was not the right way for him to die. You know, the things that he tell me that he went through, it is sad. It is sad, very, very, very sad. And if people know what happened to Ali, all also I think the whole country will be mourning for him, because the kind of things that he tell me happened to him. The boy was suffering with his belly, his waist, his back, and his neck. You know, his belly, his back, and his waist, and his neck. You know, anybody who has children would know what the boy went through, that kind of trauma he went through. You know. Anyway, I can't go. I can't say anymore.
Smith's sister said her brother revealed that the officer who assaulted him apologized for his actions. The autopsy for the late Smith was performed later on Monday. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
Thank you, Rochelle. No new taxes, higher than expected revenue from CIP. It all sounds good, but is it too good to be true? The opposition has labeled the estimates of revenue and expenditure unrealistic. Respected chartered accountant Richard Peterkin says he's anxious to hear more about the initiatives and legislative agenda, in particular on the issues of the Citizenship by Investment program and the use of internal auditing.
In the 2018-2019 estimates of revenue and expenditure, it was projected that government would earn an estimated $29 million from the Citizenship by Investment program, CIP. This year, in the report on revenue from last year, the Prime Minister indicated that the government, in fact, earned $66.3 million from CIP. Chartered accountant Richard Peterkin says it's an impressive feat by any standard. However, he says the level of transparency on the CIP is something that he hopes will improve.
It also means that most of the applicants use the preferred route, which is what they call the donation option, which is you pay $100,000 and then you go through your due diligence, etc. But if that is in fact the case, then we have that would mean that of that figure, we now have 246 new citizens. So that's great. I just want to hear how the whole CIP program is going, how it's going to be improved, and how they are going to be able to achieve and earn another $65 million this year. It's 2019-2020, which is in the estimates. If they can do that, that means that government has a source of funding that is going to be vital to carry out particularly its capital expenditure. So I think that's good news, and we certainly hope to hear a lot more about how successful the CIP program has been, how we can get around the problems that the European Union and the OECD have with our CIP, and how we can just make sure that the public is more transparent so that we can hear what was made, how it was done, how safe it is, and how the money is going to be used.
Peterkin says the Throne Speech's legislative agenda was also interesting. He praised the pronouncements about a public procurement bill and greater use of internal auditing in government.
We do have an Auditor General, but that department is perhaps understaffed and there's not enough in the budget for that. So These sound like they're new initiatives, and I'm curious and happy to hear as to how, and what is going to be done to produce and implement a public procurement bill and have better internal auditing. I mean, I'm an auditor, so in government, because as you know, these days with all this talk about direct orders and so on, I think the public needs to be assured that in fact that when government goes through its business, it follows the correct processes, it's transparent, and there is a way of ensuring that things are done properly.
The debate on the Prime Minister's April 15 budget address will commence on Tuesday, the 16th. The Prime Minister detailed the policies underpinning the figures in the estimates late Monday.
Is budget viewing popular viewing? Both sides, the government and the opposition, stand in Parliament to essentially debate the policies that affect the everyday life of citizens and the future of the country. But are citizens interested and tuned in? Rochelle Gonzalez finds out.
The national budget debate is officially on its way, with the Alan Shastney administration laying down plans to spend this year's $1.5 billion budget. As we know, this is no secret since the event is being broadcast. However, what I want to know is, are St. Lucians even listening?
To be honest, I haven't really sat down to really listen to the budget, because I feeling a little discouraged, man. When I see what's going on in my country, when I hear what is going on in my country, when I see the poverty is rising, blowing out of proportion, when I see our healthcare in a mess, when I see more people coming on the lines for food, to me, I begin to lose courage in the budget, and I begin to lose courage in the government. To be honest with you, I really have much confidence. Yeah.
I watch the budget because I do not want to go with hearsay. I like to watch so I could, get it from the sources as to what's happening in the country.
Now, Martin, time for the budget, Lalanisa.
Yes, I'm watching it as long as I don't fall asleep. I just watch it. And then when I watch it, sometimes the thing they're saying, it makes sense, and sometimes what they're making, it's not making no sense. Sometimes I don't listen to them because it's not saying nothing that we could stand on. But sometimes they're good.
There's not nothing wrong, but I'm not listening to the budget. Because I'm never at my home, and I always out, so I don't know nothing about it.
Mais quand fait budget garçon, c'est beaucoup ça qu'a dit yo qu'a fait project pas jamais commencer. Pas piché la pays, moi pas pour ça garçon.
You watch the budget?
No.
Why?
Manita, l'autre côté.
Non, m'avait pièce qualité budget, m'avait budget Shastney. Shastney pas ça fait budget. M'avait budget Shastney. Pièce.
Well, you've just heard their take on the matter. Join us next time where you can have a chance to have your say. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News. When we come back, journalist and newspaper publisher Rick Wayne is defending the article that announced the resignation of Dr. Eubaldus Raymond to the world. Flu cases rise and the Ministry of Health doubles up on its sensitization efforts. And the Education Minister says improvements are on the way for schools across the island. These stories and more when we return.